Okay, welcome back to Dell's Ducks this week from the beautiful Baraboo Country Club in Baraboo for the off-season report from the home of Coach Bill Zanaboni. Welcome, Bill and Jake, to
Thank
the
you.
summertime edition
Yeah.
of Dell's Ducks this week. A lot of time spent already in ranks since the end of the season, and you guys are working to get the new 2015-16 Dell's Ducks put together. And what's your thinking so far?
Yeah, I mean it's a process, right? You want to make sure you get the
Yeah.
you get the right puzzle to the piece, pieces to the puzzle type deal in, and that takes a while. And North American League main camp start up here in July, so that'll be a real busy month for us.
I remember from last year that the off season is kind of split in half, where you got the first half is all the showcase tournaments, and the second half is usually more going to NAHL camps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there any difference in the way a tier 3 team would approach like going to either one of them? Is it basically the same?
No, I mean I'm sure it's different for every hockey club. You know, we're kind of, I think we're kind of in a fortunate situation where we do have quite a few players that want to come play for us. But we just we want to make sure that we're making the right decision for us, the player, and their family, and we never try to over recruit. That's for sure.
Okay. How do you like when you're at one of the showcases, Jake? How do you sort of pick out who you like? I mean, do you have an idea before you go there of who you're looking for, or is it just strictly what happens on the ice?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on where you're at in the summer. How many guys you're looking for.
Okay.
Typically at the beginning of the summer or the spring, you're just kind of looking for any position that'll fit, your team identity or what you're trying to put together as a team. And then as the summer progresses and you start to add the pieces of the puzzle, like Bill said, then you start looking for more specific players, guys that can fill roles, whether it's you're looking for a top 6 guy that might be a point guy, or you're looking for another guy that might be good on penalty kill defensive situations. So it just kind of depends on where you're at in the summer.
And I know you sort of have like a mental checkbook of or checklist of, um, you know, we need this many defensemen, we need this many forwards, but you never really stop looking, do you? I mean, all summer you don't just one day go, okay, we got everybody we need now. It's like a process that really goes on all season, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely ongoing, right? I think the teams that relax are probably the teams that get passed by. So, we never try to relax. We're always looking. I guess not necessarily always looking to make moves, but we're always looking to keep an eye on what's going on around us. In junior hockey period.
One of the benefits for both of you, you both have connections in the junior world. You from your days of playing, and Jake from being around in different places. I don't know if it's a benefit for this team, but you do have some pretty good relationships with tier 2 teams, and I think that's something that's really going to benefit the team through the next 4 to 6 weeks here.
Yeah, I mean it usually helps us out every summer, right? So we usually get a handful of guys that they're at main camps or that are close to making a North American League team, because teams know that if they ever need them, that they're always free to go.
Right.
So we want to move guys up and move them along. So North American League teams know that, and that's why they're willing to work with us.
Okay. Anything different this summer compared to others? Just because the team is, if you didn't know, the team is going into a different junior league this upcoming season. Most of the teams will be the same from the former MNJHL, although there will be a lot of the Midwest Junior Hockey League teams and sort of more of a Michigan flavor, I guess. But is it any different in your off-season prep?
No, I don't. I mean, the only thing that we can worry about is ourselves, right? And what we expect out of our program, and what me and Jake kind of want to put, in the locker room and on the ice. So, No, I don't think there's anything different for us. I think we're getting more Eastern kids that are interested.
Okay.
Um, but I don't think there's no different approach for us. I think we're kind of staying along the same baseline as we've always done.
I think, as hoped, you are getting more interest, I guess, from maybe different kids, like you said, that maybe wouldn't look to the Midwest before.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I suppose the bar is set a little bit higher talent-wise for this league. That's going to have more teams and a pretty big scope as far as regions go. You're going to be playing East Coast teams, Florida teams. It's going to be a pretty competitive league.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I know Jake's actually traveled down there with the first year with the Ducks down south and saw some
right, yeah.
stuff, but. I think it makes it tougher to win. I can tell you that. Before
Yeah.
seeing anything, right? When you have that many teams, it's tougher to win. It's tougher to be more consistent, and just preparing for different teams along the way, and that makes a little more work for the staff. But it's stuff that we're looking forward to, and maybe Jake can add on to that. But I'm excited to see different hockey teams. That's for sure.
There's definitely two types of seasons with the hockey. I think when the season is on, in some ways, I think coaches probably like it because you get into more of a routine. Everything kind of exactly what you're going to be doing every day. During the off season, your weekends obviously are very busy. You've been able to enjoy watching the NHL playoffs and stuff like that. It's got to be nice for both of you to kind of recharge a little bit and get out of the rink, even if it's just for a little while.
Yeah, I'll let you answer that one first.
As a Chicago fan, it was nice watching the playoffs for sure. But even I've found with every year, regardless of, my first year where we went out in the first round to where, this last year made it all the way to nationals and played a couple extra months. It takes a couple days or a week off and the itch is already back. You get excited about guys that might be coming back or guys you might be able to pick up, and you're already set for next year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to kind of see the new crop come in. I think this will be, the first year that Jake and I have been together that we don't have a guy that started with us. So, it's good. It's there's a lot of history obviously that's gone down since since the start, and it's good. It's new blood coming in. It's hopefully it's guys that are excited to continue that tradition, and so I guess just kind of waiting and it's just suspenseful, I guess would be the right word to say, but who knows? You don't know what you got until they come in August and you throw them in the blender.
Obviously, there's a lot of names on your list right now. Do you want to talk tonight maybe about a few guys that are returning? It's not as huge a list as it's been maybe in other years, but there's some pretty good talent coming back, starting with your returning goaltender.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And not to knock anyone else that are coming back, but that's always a big hole. Last year was the first year we didn't have a returning goalie. So it's nice to have Jared coming back, a guy that's experienced through regular season playoffs, played, I thought, phenomenal at the national tournament. So we're excited to get a guy like that back, a 20-year-old that's got something to prove and hopefully, look to move on to the college ranks.
Yeah, and that's part of the Dells Ducks reputation, I think, starting from your first year, Jake, when we had guys like Rowe, and I think I might be mistaken on this. If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll hear about it. But I think we've had the goalie of the year maybe 3 years in a row.
Was Rowe goalie of the year?
No, I'm with Sully and Meadows.
Sully, Meadows,
and
Sandro,
so kind of have a bit of a reputation there, and pretty comfortable with a guy like Jared, who's already got a ton of junior experience.
Yeah, and his name I'm sure got tossed around last year with Sandros for that award.
Right.
It'd be hard for me not to see it. But yeah, exactly. He's a guy coming back that they're very confident in, and we're still, I guess, actively pursuing goalies, to come in and compete.
Yep.
because I think that helps keeps everyone honest, right? So, we'll do that, and I think we got a good crop of guys coming to our camp that are looking that want that spot. So.
Okay. One of the guys I know that will be back, and he's local, which is nice, and that's Sean Teskey.
Yep.
A guy that really kind of carved himself out a bit of a niche on the team. It was a veteran-led team last year, but he got himself to a pretty comfortable spot, I think, and he's an offensive-minded defenseman who's maybe going to play a little bit more of an offensive role this coming season, but I think he's a guy that you're probably looking forward to see what he can do, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sean came in via trade last year, and I thought he stepped in really nicely and kind of adapted to playing at home, at the junior level, and he's done really well. Besides him killing, I guess our average height of our new decoy.
Yeah, right.
But no, he's a great kid. We obviously we see him in the summertime here, and he helped us move. Us move out here, but yeah, I mean, to get a veteran defenseman back is always exciting, and we lost obviously some key guys back there.
Yeah.
So, it'll be nice. With Crosby just committing to Bethel, Steen, and with Hefner and those guys gone, Sully gone. So it's a big hole, and actually I feel comfortable with where we are right now back there with some of the guys that we brought in.
Okay. And you probably don't want to give away anything right now, but I think the team might have a little bit of a different identity this coming season than fans have seen in the past. I don't know, like I said, you don't want to give too much away, but it is going to be a little bit of a different look to the team, don't you think?
I think so. But I don't know if you remember Jimmy going back to my first year. I thought we're going to be really defensively solid and our offense is going to produce points, and we had a couple of guys on the back end that had like 50-something points, and that kind of backfired at me.
Yeah,
So
that's so true.
yeah, I mean, you just don't know. I think we have good pieces to the puzzle, and hopefully, within the systems that we teach, that they're very successful and they enjoy it.
And that's one of the nice things about you guys, Jake, is I think that there's been some subtle differences from season to season, and you guys do a really good job, I think, of just looking at what you have and adapting. Not so much molding the guys into a certain style, but adapting to whatever style they come with.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of coaching or teaching anything in general is you can't, you have to work with the hand you're dealt with, and it's a lot easier and it's more beneficial to players if you put them in a position to succeed and not try to force a certain system or anything down their throat. We'll see what we have and then we'll work with that.
So if you're out there, which usually just our own faithful fans and players and stuff that watch this, but if you know anybody that might be interested in coming to Bensonville, maybe you can tell your friends or whatever, and they can get a hold of Coach Zanaboni. There's always room for more out on the ice in Bensonville, I would expect.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not between the pipes, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, they can sign it right up on our website at delsexhockey.net. But yeah, we're always available for questions and answers too. So.
And that's just a couple weeks away. If I'm not mistaken, I think it might be July 12th and 13th.
No, 11th and 12th.
Oh, 11th and 12th, I'm
Yep.
sorry. So that's just a couple weeks away now as we're heading into July as we speak.
Yep.
So a couple weeks away, and that's always kind of an interesting weekend when you get a look at the players and actually get to see them sort of in anger against each other. Obviously, you've seen these guys in showcase tournaments and stuff like that. And the thing I like about it is that we get a pretty good presence from our alumni. Last season, I think we had a half dozen or so guys come back, and that's what I really love, is seeing the guys come back again.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, that's the family that that we try to mold, right? And it's what we preach, and to see those guys come back and they do care. What guys make it and not. I mean, some of them I think that they should have say in it, but they're definitely not afraid to to talk to Jake or myself and give us their opinions.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, they definitely care who's going to wear their jersey and what they're going to bring to the table. So I think that's awesome.
Last year it was a very interesting. It was a day I think there was maybe 2 or 3 sessions, and we had obviously guys that were hoping to make the Dallas Ducks. We had our alumni, and we even had a guy that was looking to sort of shake off a little bit of rust, so he could go for a tryout with a semi-pro team, I think.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're going to see in Bensonville.
Yeah.
It might be worth coming out and check it out.
Yeah, and obviously Coach Largen will be there from Janesville.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Those guys always come down and help us out, which is nice. And they try to take a peek too, right? Because their camp's a week after, just to see if there's anyone maybe that they overlooked that they can get a quick look at down there.
Well, that's a pretty good incentive for the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. With our relationship that we have, it's never a bad thing.
So you're heading into the NA portion now. You got a couple camps and then our own, and we're just about maybe 8 weeks right now from the start of the season. So if you're going through hockey withdrawal with the end of the NHL playoffs, you can start counting down the days. The Ducks will be here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And thanks, guys, for taking some time on this beautiful golf course setting to talk about the Dallas Ducks.
Yeah, we appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks for
anytime,
coming.
Jimmy.